Hello, everybody. Oh, there's Lord Gaylord making an entrance just in time to steal the show, just like Hermosa does in your room, Carolyn. So I'm here with my friend Caroline, who teaches yoga. She has custom, what is it? Custom yoga? Custom fit yoga? Custom something yoga. Anyway, I've been in her room and she's been in mine. So today we're gonna play with being fluid and finding fluidity in our body through the imagination. In the past year, I have found the elements to just be incredibly rich for me to play with my own embodiment. And so this idea of being a body of water, that we are made of water, is a nice entrance into feeling like a fluid human. And when we move, we hydrate tissue. So if we think of our fascia like a really three-dimensional matrix that's holding us all together, and there's different sort of densities of that. So there's parts of it that are kind of like clouds, another water thing, right? Filmy fascia, like cloud-like, and it's all surrounded by this extracellular matrix, which is all the snotty like fluid. And when we move, that kind of gets to move around. And the rest, there's other fascia that's more sort of dense, building blocky. Building block is such the wrong term, but imagine like a three-dimensional sweater that's knit and has this total three-dimensionality and all parts can move. But if you pull a string up here, it could affect something way over here or over here. So thinking of the internal fascia like that. And then there's some really big bandy fascia that's almost like it can be almost like layers of packing tape. I mean, it's such a bad analogy for it, but at any rate, big bandy parts, like our IT band is a big band of fascia, but underneath the IT band, which is like, going like this, is another layer of fascia that's going like this. So we have these layers, and the layers are fluidly connected. So as we move, we are going to sort of get this extracellular matrix of stuff to squish around, hydrating tissue, and also just clearing up blockages in our body, clearing up holding patterns. And yeah, movement, if we think of like a stagnant pond, fetid water that's not moving has more capacity to be stagnant and yucky. So we want to think of all the fluids in our body, all the fluid systems really working together. So let's start with just seated or laying down. And all of this you can take in any way that feels good for you. It's totally an exploration. It is for some freedom in the body mind. But let's just imagine, let's use the sh sound, like shh. Allowing yourself to come in. And probably my earbuds are going to block out the sh after I start doing it. So just keep doing it on your own, a couple of breaths. And you can also imagine that sh is a sign, a signal to calm down, right? Not an obnoxious shh, be quiet, but a shh, soft and easy. And imagining also, for some reason, to me, it's got a very fluid, like mistiness to it. Like you could think of if you were outside in the cold and you make a shh, you'll see your breath in the air. So adding that other layer. And inviting in sort of fluid micro movement. So micro movement could just be the movement of the breath, or it could be little adjustments. And often we have micro movement happening under macro movement. So the macro movement is like the bigger whole body stuff, and the micro movement's the smaller sort of shape flow of movement. So you're inviting in any sense of that shape flow into your body. And from this place, close your eyes for a couple of breaths, maybe add the sh, maybe just a little fluid movement. Inviting in the metaphor of water into your body and just seeing what image of the body of water that you are right now comes to mind. Inviting in micro movement, some freedom from the inside. The sh sound is also kind of almost like the white noise sound of water, running water. So I've taught this with kids, and when I asked them to imagine that they were water, I got many very funny responses. Like one imagined being like a drop of water in a bucket, another one like being part of a puddle. So whatever kind of body of water, maybe you're imagining being an ice cube if you're cold and feeling hard and contracted. Imagining that whatever kind of water you are has fluidity and motion. So if we have like a glass of water, there's one molecule of water here and another molecule of water there, and they're not really separate. They're super interconnected. So imagining this connected fluid water molecular inner body that's got hydration, fluidity, and movement. That's very, very easy. And from there, I'm going to let us take it down. So if it feels good, coming down onto the floor for some rolling. So what the difference between rolling on a hard floor or rolling on a bed or rolling on something with more cushioning is that the hard floor is going to give you more pressure to the fascia, which is going to change it more. So depending on how you're feeling, like if you feel like, oh, I really need softness under me, then go for that. Like you could do this on your bed. If you feel like, oh, I really need to massage things out, then maybe working on a harder floor is going to be better. So the invitation is to open up your imagination and allow yourself to experience your body of water in whatever way is most interesting, curious, and delicious, so that we're moving into feeling good. So finding pleasure through movement. If it feels kind of ouchy or stuck or blocked, just slow it down. See if you can go easier. And another image is to think of, instead of thinking of like struggling with gravity, think of just melting into gravity, giving into gravity, or yielding, so that your tissue is just connecting to the floor in a harmonious, symbiotic relationship. And you're feeling the sensation of gravity. The water in your body pulls down to the earth. We're held by the earth. And we can feel where down is, no matter what position we're in. And that's just the water in our body connecting to the gravitational pull of the earth. So letting yourself experience that. Letting your body be fluid, rolling, pouring, moving around. If you have a pet, they're often, oh, Hermosa must be out of your room, Caroline. But yeah, Gaylord comes in usually at some point to participate. Yeah. And if you feel like, oh, there's certain movement patterns that I've learned how to do, see if you can find movement patterns that you haven't learned. So it's like almost like an alien arriving in this body and you don't know what's possible. Or think of even like an octopus. Like if you were an octopus, how would you move? The most intelligent sort of surface area of any creature, I think, is the octopus. Like it can change shape, it can change color, it can sense the texture. So let yourself connect into the fluidity of your body with this possibility of being like an octopus body. In continuum movement, they talk about wave-like and tentacle movement. So inviting in wave-like and tentacle movement. And allowing the floor to really massage you out so that there's a dance with mobility and the floor, rolling around. The other set of weights is, did you find them? And you may also start to like let yourself push and pull around so that you have a different like relationship of coming up and coming down. Thinking of the invitation to sort of connect to the intelligence of the systems of your own body, or the wisdom of your own body. And I'm going to share sound. And then maybe we can play with some different music. Allowing the fluidity of your body to really create a sense of internal spaciousness. How's that volume, Caroline? Can you hear it? If you were just one molecule or an entire ocean of water, how would you move? Ripples, waves, whirlpools, eddies. Maybe even tuning into the surface area of your water. Softening your idea or your definition of being human and just giving yourself so much more possibility, so much more capacity and range. Taking away any ideas of what you should look like or what looks good, and tuning 100% into what feels good and what is interesting or even delicious. Oh, it could even be rain. What if you were an entire thunderstorm or a gentle misting rain? Letting yourself pour around. And if you were a cloud or some steam, how would you move? What would that feel like? Inviting any sort of unprocessed material that's hanging out in your tissues to sort of crack off. Like I'm thinking like the power of water to move things. So smoothing out the inner body through fluid movement and letting any kind of crusty, like clinging on, stuck patterning, letting it just melt and become fluid or sort of break off and get reabsorbed by the body. So movement can be like the composting in the fallow period. Yes, change that music. Something totally different. Now that was Jeff Gersh. Actually, we're going to go to another Jeff Gersh one, but something else. So when I say totally different, it's really not that different. Maybe a little bit more spacious. So in this, really feeling the spaciousness within the water, feeling the vastness, vast, spacious possibility. Letting yourself melt, spread, expand, wave. Or even pouring yourself around the floor. And if you were just one drop within a whole huge body of water, how would you even differentiate your edges? So imagining that yourself as your one little small piece of this whole mass of water, how do you even delineate where you end and where the rest of it begins? The non-dual water droplet. Taking time to slow down whenever that feels good. Pausing to process or to reflect or to just deepen your experience, your own awareness. And if you find that you're getting into a pattern of movement that's very familiar, see if you can change something about it. So yeah, reaching into the new pattern by letting go of the old pattern. Maybe slow down, maybe spiral something, change the body part, change the space that you're moving in. So within this whole fluid body, imagining your nervous system like supported by all this fluid structure, supported by the fascia, supported by all the systems working coherently. So coherence means they're working together. They're not working against each other. Systems are working in harmony. allowing your body to process anything that needs to be processed, anything that's kind of stuck in there, especially after the holidays. Is there any kind of weird tensions maybe that would be beneficial to let go of, to melt away, to wash away in your watery experience? Any kind of old ideas of yourself that are no longer serving? Or any old sort of goals or plans that don't quite fit anymore? Let them sort of start to melt and morph, biomorphic shifting from the inside to the outside. Tuning even into that center of your spine, your spinal cord, where the cerebrospinal fluid is. So the cerebrospinal fluid, closest thing that we have in our body to fresh water or distilled water, and it's processing through our body 3 or 4 times a day, bolstering our brain, and our nervous system, delivering nutrition, oxygen, eliminating waste. So just giving that deep center, that central core, cerebrospinal fluid, a chance to feel your awareness, or to feel, giving yourself a chance to bring your awareness to that place. It's protecting your brain. It's there supporting the structure of the brain and the spinal cord, the nervous system, so that if you jostle your head around, your brain isn't going to hurt itself. That water in there, that fluid is protecting it. Protecting that whole like jelly, like intestinal almost, like the way that our brains are in there. The meninges, the way that it's all like curled around itself. So letting the intelligence of the water in your body really support you. The wisdom of the water in your body. Supporting you on a really deep primordial level. And offering your torso real freedom. Like you don't need to hold anything in or suck anything up or push anything down. Just giving your torso freedom to mobilize, to have movement, to not be stuck in someone else's idea of what your body should look or act like. So from your head to your tail, having real freedom in your torso, freedom in your guts, freedom in your heart, freedom in your lungs. Letting your whole torso free up, rippling waves. when we start to move in ways that are unfamiliar, it shifts things in our brains and in our in the holding pattern of who we are. So sometimes it can be like a relief, like, oh my God, thank God. Or it can also be really emotional because things are starting to change. And it can also be sort of destabilizing, like, oh my God, what's happening? Like moving like this can, I don't know, it's the closest thing to tripping. So getting high on the real thing, movement, as you let your life sort of filter and reintegrate. So anytime if things become uncomfortable or you feel like it's too much, feel free to always just lay still, be in Shavasana, do a child's pose, happy baby, or get up and walk around, look around the room. All of these things can bring us back into, oh, I'm here right now. It's just me. It's not any big thing. Most of the time for me when I'm doing this, it's usually not an emotional experience, but every once in a while it is. And sometimes when it's like that, I'll just be moving and it's just tears pouring down for a long time. So sometimes that happens. Just clearing the passageways, clearing the expressions that haven't had a chance to come out, clearing the repressed bits that are sort of stuck in your body, holding the pattern, keeping this whole world as it is, instead of growing and evolving into something that we really want, with clean air and clean water, loving kindness towards each other, towards the creatures on the planet. Yeah. When I see Caroline's giving herself a big hug there. So yeah, giving yourself some self-love, give yourself a hug, self-touch. Here we are in our bodies on the planet. You can give yourself the bath, the hand bath, the touch bath. Many people have not been getting enough touch during this pandemic. So we have these two things called hands. On these two things called arms, we can use them. Giving and receiving touch at the same time on our own body. So everybody in TV land, you are welcome to continue with this exploration. I'm going to turn off the recording. Please like and subscribe. I'm trying to grow my channel, and there's a little red button down there. Please help me grow. More loving kindness, fluid bodies in the world. It's what we need.